living proof. It's pretty safe to say. God give it, God take it away. It's the worldwide American way. I'm living proof.
What's going on, team? Proof here, and today I'm coming at you with a video talking about the bad end double brake ride combo sequence. And this is off the heels of Surreal's victory at BCS London. So I want to take the time just to go through the combo as with the previous video with No Life King and talk about the key cards for the combo, what you need to complete the combo, go over what I feel is an ideal sequence for the combo, talk about the end result of the combo, and then just go over a couple ways that you can help yourself prevent the combo from happening. So with the key cards, we obviously have Bad End Dragger, which is the brake ride that you need to have to enable the combo, and also Good End Dragger, which is the stride that is related or attached at the hip to Bad End Dragger, because you need a bad end heart to use it. You need to have some number, or you need to have at least 2 General Safe Read or Juggernaut Maximum remaining in your deck. And that's kind of a variance thing because Good End activates after your Vanguard attacks, which means if your drive checks result in you getting all your force grade 3s to your hand, you kind of whiff on that part of the combo, but you can help enable it thanks to Gary Gannon putting grade 3s back. If you're on a grade 3, you can use Hecaton Gase to put grade 3s back to your deck, things like that. Just ways to help you out with the combo. You need Mecha Instructor, which helps you restand during the battle during the battle phase. A Gyro Slinger to combo up with it. Spike Bouncer as well, just let you use Counter Blast and get attacks off without investing your hand. Mecha Analyzer, the starter, if he remains on the board. If not, the deck plays 2 of them, traditionally, which is something I would definitely stick with. And then Cheer Girl Elza, which is the Limit Break Enabler, which you want to have if you have less than 2 damage, or less than 4 damage, I'm sorry. Or if you're at 4 damage and you think you might heal out going in, after your or during your triple drive. Because if you heal back to 3 and you don't have her on board, then your double brake ride will whiff because you won't be at 4 damage, of course. What you need to complete the combo in this scenario here that I'm about to present, you need to have at least 2 counter blasts, 1 for Good End and 1 for Spike Bouncer. You'd have a full board because that's how you enable the double brake ride sequence, which I'll get into in a little bit. And then you need to have enough cards in hand to put into your soul because Good End and Mecha Instructor and Gyro Slinger all require cards to go from your hand into the soul to use their ability. Now, we're going to go ahead and go over that little combo sequence. So, the way that I like to do the sequence is I need to have this board set up here, and what you're going to do is that you have your 2 counter blasts. They both need to be face up, of course. And then you want to have this particular setup because it allows you to get cards out of the way while still being able to get the function that you need out of them. And this is under the assumption that you have only those 2 counter blasts and you're not at 4. So we're going to include Elza in this scenario. And what you need to do, you need to attack with Vanguard. And then after you do your triple drive, you're going to counter blast 1. You're going to put a card from your hand to the soul, return Good End to the G zone, search your deck for your 2 force vanguards, your force bears, and then what you do is you reveal them, and then what Good End says that you choose 1 and you would call it to an open circle, but since your board is full, as you can see, we don't have the ability to call to an open circle. And thanks to rule in action, when it says to ride the rest as rest, you take both of those grade 3s and you ride them together. And then there's a rule in action for overloaded units, which I'll have you go read. But essentially you just choose 1 to be the soul and then put 1 on top of the other. And then they ride together on the same Bad End Dragger. And that's how you result in the double brake ride. And since they both ride together temporarily before the overloaded units happens, the gift action for force activates, so you get 2 gift markers that you then distribute out. And when you distribute it, you can go 2 on one side or go split. I prefer to go split, as I talked about with Surreal, because since you're going to be using both your front rows equally during the course of the combo for attacking, you're going to in my opinion, it's best to split the power, because then you get plus 30k on all your attackers for the rest of the turn, which to me is really good, and it helps play around the fact that your opponent could hit damage triggers, which is huge now because they grant 10k power versus 5k as they did in the past. So from there, you activate your double Breakride, your double force, you put your gift markers onto your split rearguard circles, and now you attack with the Eliza side. You go unboosted here in the case that you have Bouncer behind it, or you can go boosted if you have Analyzer and Bouncer flipped. But in this case, we have Bouncer behind the flank, so we go unboosted, of course. She returns back to the deck, and then we go with the instructor side, boosted or unboosted, that's your preference there. And then return it back to the deck, and this is where instructor activates. So you put a card from your hand to the soul, choose a unit. In this case, you choose Spike Bouncer, you bind it, call it back out onto one of your front row circles, and then from there, you resolve Bouncer. So you counterblast one, soul blast one, check the top 4, excuse me, and then you call one out to your other rearguard circle. And that's how you get, that's how you use up your second counterblast. And then you have Spike Bouncer, Gyro Slinger, and then the new unit that's able to attack. And then, in my opinion, you want to attack with the Bouncer side, or the Bouncer's call, get that card out the way. And then you attack with the Ganon, or not the Ganon, the Bouncer side. And then when that returns, you use Analyzer, you put it to the soul, you bind Gyro Slinger, call it back out, and then you resolve Gyro Slinger, which is the same as Bouncer, or Spike Bouncer, minus the counterblast. So you put a card from your hand to the soul, check the top 4, call out a fresh unit again, and then the rest go back to the bottom. And then you have those last 2 attacks off, and then you attack and attack, which gets us to the end of that particular combo. There's variants in there in case you roll an Analyzer or a Analyzer, an Instructor, or another Gyro Slinger to keep the top, I'm sorry, you don't check top 4, you check top 3 because you're on a grade 3 now. So apologize there. And you keep checking the top 3, and then see if you can keep rolling into one of the other combo extenders. So that's it for that particular combo. And what's the end result now? So the end result for this combo is that you get 7 attacks off, 1 with the Vanguard, and then you have 6 attacks that have plus 30k power to it, in the sense that we split the markers. And either you're going to beat your opponent, or you're going to push as hard as you can, your opponent lives, and then there's a high chance that they win on the swing back, because you need to use up cards in your hand to extend the combo, as it was with most Spike combos back in the day. So it's a calculated measure, and something you need to take into account when you're going for this combo is how much damage you need to have your opponent at ahead of the combo before you go for it. Because if you go for it and miss, as I mentioned, you're going to probably lose on their turn because your hands will be depleted of resources. So definitely something to keep in mind there. And now that we've gone through all that, what are some ways you can go about preventing it? And the most common ways is just being able to control the board mid-battle phase. So the Kageras of the world, Mega Colony can prevent it with Gridora because she can lock down a column. But yeah, that's a good way to go about it. Optyrannus is probably too slow because the double Breakride is a combo meant to try to win on the first stride, which is before Optyrannus can come online. Denial Griffin, of course, can help out a lot. Maybe even a Defeat Flare if your opponent turbo drops cards to their drop zone to enable it, so it wipes the back row, which is scary. And then a way that's coming up recently is people putting Hanali into their deck, which is a Crate Elemental, which says at the 5th battle, or as both players would go for their 5th battle, they need to counterblast 1 to do the attack. So that can help play around aspects of the combo as well, as long as you don't manage your counterblast effectively. So that's it for all that there. Hope you enjoyed. And I'm going to put up a separate video with a couple gameplay videos, just to show you guys how the flow of the deck can probably go for you. So that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, And until next time, peace, be easy.